Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show, training our horses and miniature cows in ranch versatility. Penning Rusty and Susie, our bull and heifer. Roping Rusty with Morgan horse, Semi. Training Eve to drive cart. Training Eve to work over her haunches with a motor cow simulator. Training Eve to lay down. Training Eve to harness, pull a log. Training Semi to harness, pull a log on turf. Liberty jumping to music with our horses who are our partners. Training Eve on a cow roping simulator. Training on our driveway, which is covered by sand, so we have a straight track. Stepping over poles, jumping over crossbar jumps. Training in our trail obstacles course. Sadie doing obstacles without rein control. Training miniature zebu bull Rusty to pull an implement. To start her review on pole bending. It's been many months since we've done it. We're set up here on the north-south track, and we're just very slowly reminding Semi, Shadrach, Triton, Semi, what are poles? And what do we want her to do with the poles? This is like a gymkhana event. It's a rodeo event. We like to do it because it gives us an opportunity to practice good flexion, flying change of lead. But we're not going to go right there. We're going to make sure the prerequisite skills are there. And then we're going to do it with our other Morgans as well. And we're going to use only voice command, body language, and maybe if we want to add an extra cue, a clicker cue. Clickers are used with dog training quite often, and once in a while for horse training. We are not going to be using a crop. We don't want to swat our horse on the hip when we want speed by cropping them. We're going to show them with body language, voice command, by patterns when they're doing the pole bending. On the way back, they're going to be asked to go quickly. I have added extra sand to this straight track because I don't want there to be concussion with my barefooted horses on a hard driveway or driveway rocks. So we have an extra inch or two of sand recently laid here. And you can see that Semi's having no trouble doing her flexion. Rosie, on the way back, starting from the south to the north, on the west side of the poles, see if you can do a collected jog.
You want them coming back straight?
Well, what I wanted you to do was the pattern that we discussed just before we turned on the camera.
Well, I'm doing that right now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay, but you're doing it at a walk,
yeah.
And then we're going to try it at a jog.
Okay.
And then we're going to try it at a canter with a simple change around the poles. We don't want to ask for flying change right away. We just want to make sure all the prerequisite skills are there. And then I'm pretty sure Semi will be good about flying change. We'll see. You'll see, because we'll show you. And this is unrehearsed, as is usual on the Urban Cowgirl Show. It just so happens that in a few weeks at our nearby Horseman's Grounds, there is going to be a fun gymkhana play day afternoon. Maybe they'll have pole bending. we want to just give every one of my horses that plans to be there the opportunity to practice ahead of time, at least in this setting.
Back, 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 back.
This actually is an activity that could be done, I believe, ultimately, rainlessly. We can use body language, maybe at first our arm extensions. And Semi will know the pattern when she sees these poles. Okay, so we're going on the west side of the poles at a jog. And then Rosie's going to go around the poles, serpentine, as closely as she can get without applying a whole lot of pressure at first. Semi will soon understand that that's her job. Good. She's going to come back here at the first pole, turn around it, go back down, serpentine. You see how we're going to have to work on getting Semi to understand we need more flexion. And those are points off, of course. Go ahead, keep going.
Keep going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that happens in pole bending. It's points off, but you just keep going.
She's still pretty stiff, not warmed up, really excited about Sparky across the street still. Every time we go that direction, it's way more exciting. Well, actually, everything's exciting.
Okay, now, who is Sparky across the street? That's a new herd mate, where she pastures, where Semi pastures. And as soon as we get close to our front gate here, she gets anxious to go and visit Sparky. So that's a compliance or respect we're going to have to ask for. We don't want her to do what's natural to her for the time being. We want her to do what we're asking her to do, and to trust us and to respect us. And that is, in fact, natural horsemanship. We allow the horse to be natural, but we also ask for respect and focus from them, because when we're asking them to do things for us and with us as partners, we want compliance. Do you feel like you want to jog again, or you want to try the canter?
On jog again, definitely.
Okay.
If we can't do it at a jog without making a mistake, then I don't think we should go farther than that.
Absolutely. Speed at any particular activity is always one of the last things you ask for, because if you can't do it slow, you probably can't do it fast. Look at that head throwing. I see we need to keep that collection and that vertical flexion as we get the lateral flexion. And here we need to get tighter path around the end pole. She's okay on the serpentines. The end pole is still a challenge to her. Okay, how are we going to get better at this? Repetition. Small steps, repetition. Remove the pressure when she's giving us the right answer. Give her negative reinforcement. Do not remove the pressure when she's giving us the wrong answer. That's the name of the game in natural horsemanship training. Good. And a lot of haunches work. Back up is a good way to get focus. Stand still is sometimes harder than you think, but it's a good way to get focus. I'm going to do a whole show on Semi, a whole show on Eve, and a whole show on Sadie, because each one will be at a different level, I believe, when it comes to pole bending. And then we might do some short jumping over across the street in their pasture as well at the tail end of the show to show you where they're at on that activity. And then we've got the whole summer and part of the fall before the rains start to get better at these activities, which can be fun, which are challenging, which require some fundamentals that are very important to have.
Back. One more time at a trot, although maybe when I'm coming back on the straightaway, I'll get her to go fast.
All right.
But I don't think we could make I think we could probably do the serpentines at a lope right now, but I don't think we can make these tight corners At the ends.
With and still keep the form that we want. I agree, based on the way she is getting stiff at the ends. We need light hands. We need flexibility. Yeah, there you go. Again, a little better, but still, yeah, still too wide. We're also going to practice a sort of a cloverleaf pattern with barrels or other focus objects. Oh, good. Whoa! she did a whoopee on that one. Okay, now we're going to do the same pattern again, and we're hoping that by repetition we can remove the whoopies from the patterns. Sammy thought that was really exciting when she was asked to run down the east side of this pole bending track. And while it wasn't a balk or anything like that, it was a whoopee, it was an excitement. She's to understand that that's only going to slow her down and that that's not the right answer. And we'll get that message across to her using natural horsemanship methods. So on the way up from south to north, we don't ask for a lot of speed. Not yet. Then we ask for flexion. Better. That was nice. Around the poles. You can see how this is a great exercise for light hands.
Steady.
Flexibility, a little bit of agitation. Now let's see how she's doing here. A little bit wide yet here. We'll work on that. These poles are 20 to 21 feet apart. There's 6 poles. We made them easily with PVC, coffee cans, and some Sacrete. And here we go. Let's see. Yes. See, at this point, if we want Semi to go really fast, we'll tell her with body language, we'll tell her with voice cues, and we may initiate the speed on the straight track with...
That felt better.
Okay, the same pattern again. We're getting more softness, more flexibility each time we do it.
Oh. Oh.
The tried and true one rein stop. The lateral flexion to a hoe to get focus.
Oh.
See, again, she's getting anxious.
Well, she was anxious before. This isn't different than how she was being before. It's the same. About how far, when I go down on the straightaway, about how far away do I want to be from the poles?
Oh, as close as possible. Everything is as close as possible because it's all timed, and the closer you are, the less time it's going to take, assuming everything else goes well.
Yeah. Oh, here comes Marcia. Well, I'll go anyway.
Yeah, we'll go anyway. It's not a vehicle. It's just a person on foot, so no problem. You see, we do double up here at Minmore Farms using our driveway for a track.
Steady. Easy now.
Okay, you see, we're still doing the canter. The jog. We're not ready for the canter. I don't think we're even going to ask for it today. Better. That was real better here on this first pole. Getting around it, halfway through the pattern. A little bit of agitation there, and here we go. Let's see if we get any whoopies, but boy, are we getting speed. Nice. Now, are we getting softness at the end of the run? See, we do have a turning circle around some manure bins here, which gives Rosie the chance to ask Semi to transition to a jog or a walk or a slow canter.
She did a little flying chase. She was on the right lead, and she switched to the left as we were going around. It was really cute.
Well, does that mean that you'd like to try a little canter around?
Well, I'm not sure. She mostly did it on her own.
Right.
I wasn't really asking her. But it was nice anyway. I guess we could. Guess we could see.
We could see where we're at on that request. And if you need to come back down to, of course, we haven't even tried Canner with a simple change. Let's do that.
Okay.
Unless you feel like she's just changing by herself every time she's supposed to. Then we don't need to bring her back down to, to arithmetic if she can do algebra, so to speak. If she's already capable. Because she has done this before, although it was last year. Let's see. Just run the whole pattern again.
All right. Well, I'm going to circle just for a minute. Gotta be listening.
Asking for a little bit of vertical flexion with a little bit right-left tug.
Good.
Yes.
Good girl. Yeah, I know. It's exciting.
Yeah. They have fun doing these things. See, we want speed going up, but not too much because she has to be ready to focus to go around the pole. Okay, down to a good. Good. She's doing it. Look at that. And then here we knew this was going to be a challenge. But she was skipping. She was doing her flying change all by herself. Look at that. And she said, boy, this is fun. Now here's where she has to pick up speed. And, man, she's galloping by. Now let's see if she's going to slow down for Rosie. Okay, Rosie's going around the manure bins now. She has plenty of track, which is sand-covered over there, too, to slow Semi down slowly. And she should be appearing here any moment.
More little whoopee jumps there going around the corner.
This is all very exciting to her, but she got an A. Even though she didn't do it perfectly for having done it so well after not having done it for so long. Now, it's your call, Rosie. You want to stop on that note and let's say, okay, next time we'll start again?
Maybe so. That was pretty nice. It was really fun.
It felt good, didn't it? Yeah. Those are fun things to do. And we're going to try to have some fun doing Gymkhana here in the next few weeks. And maybe go to that schooling show at the end of the month and have fun doing it there, too, with the introduction of other horses, other rigs, other excitement in a new place. Goodbye for now. It's Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl at Minmore Farms.
Ooh.
Where we use every square inch of our property to help us train our horses and our cows. Well, here's the postscript, as we often do at the end of a session. We're going to practice slowing Semi down more quickly, more lightly, even without the poles. We're going to go along this track, or my east-west track, speed her up as fast as we can, slow her down with our body language and our clear language of ho, and then come back here and try the poles, so that when Rosie gets to the end of the pattern and goes around the manure bins over here, she has less whoopies and less resistance from Semi. Now, as one more postscript, I'm going to show you what we do with these poles when we're not using them. So we simply put them on the side of the driveway, keeping them in the relative position to each other so we don't have to measure out again. They're about 20 to 21 feet apart. And we're easy to set up for next time. Well, today Semi is going to review some jumping skills. And Rosie has jumped with Semi before. And we have Alexis here on Sadie so that she can learn. Both of them can learn by watching and listening to what Rosie has to say. Rosie has done quite a bit of jumping in her past, and Alexis and I have not, and neither has Sadie. Semi's been really good about learning out here in what we call our HVD West jumping course. We also have an HVD East jumping course that has a couple of jumps, and that's on the east side of this pasture. Today we're using the west side. One of these days soon we'll show you the east side. Now look at Semi's form. Very nice. She's got a lot of focus. She's giving Rosie flexion, moving the body parts. Rosie has already scouted out this turf to make sure there are no gopher holes. It's a constant maintenance problem out here when you do turf jumping. But okay, what we do is we have marker paint, and we come out before we're ready to jump and make big white circles around anything that we consider potentially hazard. And over there, there's a cone where there's a very deep hole. And the trouble is we think that there is maybe a squirrel's nest in there or something. So we're giving the squirrel a chance to move its babies or raise its babies. And so we just put the cone on top of it. All right, now Rosie's working Semi a little bit more focused, backing, jogging. We don't have the jump set up real high today, as you see. The objective today is for Rosie to tell us, and Alexis, who's here listening to learn, what the basic principles of turf jumping are. This is like stadium jumping on the turf, because these are not cross-country jumps. These are the kind of jumps that when a horse tips them, very likely the rail will fall, which is different from jumping a log or jumping a concrete blocked wall, or things that when a horse tips them will not fall, and therefore you need to make sure that the horse doesn't fall. Here goes Rosie. Remember, she has already scouted out this turfed area for potential wet spots or gopher holes or pine cones or whatever might be causing a problem. It might be a safety issue. The grass is cut short. Not cut, actually. The horses get to graze out here when they're not working out here, so it's maintained all year round by horses, by nature, and by irrigation. We do have irrigation. Rosie, are you going to tell us then, and tell Alexis, who's trying to learn, who has studied one DVD about jumping that I gave her from RFD, but doesn't have much experience. Tell her what you're trying to do with Semi.
Well, when we first got over here, Semi was pretty excited. I mean, we just brought them over here together, and we're trotting and cantering around a little, just sort of scouting out, looking for gopher holes and things. You know, that's pretty exciting, being over here with another horse with a rider on is, I can't remember having done that before. So, you know, it's a pretty exciting day, you know, and I'm just trying to get her focused a little, warming her up to a jog, and if she starts getting too fast, just trying to jog around in circles, I'm not going to want to jump because she'll just rush at it. I mean, you can tell acting that she rushed the jump, and we don't want that. We want her to be collected. We want her to be listening. So I'm just doing a lot of serpentines and circles. Getting her to move away from my leg when I ask her to. Turn when I ask her to. So you can tell what we're going to be doing though. She's smart. She sees the jumps. She knows she's in the flat saddle. I do actually ask her to jump. I'm gonna, when I feel like she's collected and ready, I'm gonna just turn her towards whatever jump. Try to keep her calm. Keep her collected. And when I get right where I want her to take off, which is pretty close to the jump for these small jumps. The higher the jump, the farther back we need to take off. So I'm going to get to the point where I want her to take off. I'll lean forward, take my weight off the back. I mean, not lean forward too much. Like I said, I mean, with jumps these small, you don't really need to change your position that much. So I'll lean forward a little, take my weight off the back. Give her a little squeeze as a cue to jump and not, refuse or trot over, but actually jump.
Rosie is going to work on getting Semi's focus so that she has less of a chance of dealing with a rushing horse before or after a jump.
Focused on me. So when I feel like she's really listening and she's not going to rush, I'll ask her to go over one of the jumps. And I'll ask her to jump, like to take off when I think it's the right distance away. Won't be very far. These are the very small jumps. And I'll lean forward a little and take my weight off the back.
And being here on turf, she really has to pay attention to where her feet are. She tripped a couple times, and I think that's because she's just not paying that much of attention to where her feet are.
Well, could be, but also it is uneven out here.
However, if you're doing cross-country jumping, you have to deal with that. And so we're kind of doing a cross-country jump, turf ground with a stadium jump type of jump. It's her job to watch where she's going. And that looked nice. How did that feel?
That was pretty good. She jumped it a little big, but it's fine. I mean, I think we've said this before, like, you can only jump so low. Like, once she's actually jumping, I mean, I think there's like a minimum height she's going to lift her feet off the ground. Even if the jump itself maybe is flare up like that.
We could have had that rail maybe 2 cups higher, and she would have cleared it. Oh, that looked great. That just looked really great. Well, all right. Semi's on her way to a season of jumping, and we'll show you her progress as we keep training Shadrach, Triton, Semi in this ranch horse versatile activity. Thank you, Semi, and thank you, Rosie.
Shadrach Stables at Midmore Farms. Sadie and Eve. Semi. Rusty and Susie. www.thesocolos.com